Hey everybody, it's Bus with Battles of Bus number 193. Today we're going to be doing battle in the Gauntlet. And so it is kind of an odd gauntlet. If you're not familiar with what's happened with this timing, is there's no seasonals between now and Worlds. Worlds is the seasonals for the, I don't know, December time of the year. And so the Last Chance Gauntlet isn't for another 119 days. And then the seasonal tournament wouldn't make that 126 days away or so, however that math works out. And so it's pretty far away in the future. I know a lot of the competitive players are fairly upset about the kind of nothingness going on for the next 4 months, but I at least hope it gives Riot a kind of chance to get together a game plan for the upcoming year. As the new game director came in, he made note that they were looking to really focus in on PvP and then the competitive aspects of the game. And so I'm curious if this kind of 4 month gap between the now and the next seasonals gives them a bit of a chance to put their ideas and thoughts into fruition, right? None of this stuff happens immediately. I'm sure with the things that were on his plate as soon as he took over that position are probably, for the most part, still just on the drawing board. Things take 6 months, 9 months, a year to get into place. And so I'm curious with this big gap in the competitive space, if it gives Riot some time to kind of shore together their plans for the competitiveness of the game. But nonetheless, we're going to have 15 weeks or whatever to get 4 of these gauntlet victories. Shouldn't be that challenging to do. And so I think we'll be good and well and set up for it. So in terms of today's gauntlet, I don't have big plans for this one. The meta is still shaping up with the release of the Darkened Saga Domination. And the only real statement I have to say with it is let's play decks that are good, and then let's ban Seraphine. I have no desire to play against Seraphine whatsoever. I'm really in the Seraphine Doomer camp. I usually try to keep things pretty positive, but everything built around Seraphine and centered around Seraphine is just completely unfun and toxic to me. And so that's at least one of the perks of best of three. We can come out and we can just ban this shit. Hopefully, hopefully we don't run into people that are trying to play like Seraphine and then curious Shellfolk style decks. I'll hate every minute of that, but we'll deal with that as it comes up. And so, that's, again, the good plan here. No real rhyme and reason to our deck lists, except we want to play good decks and we want to ban Seraphine. And so our deck list we'll be bringing today, we're going to do Varus Riven. This is a big OTK deck that we brought forth as our first video of this set. I'm still pretty happy with the deck, and I like the raw power that comes out of this into the lands of Gauntlet, as to where there hasn't been a lot of time with the current decks, and so if you've been really grinding hard with one deck, your other decks are probably going to be a little bit untuned, and you're going to be a little bit unfamiliar with how to play them. And so I like bringing these decks that just have a ton of raw power, so we can come in and try and pick on some of our opponents that are a little bit less prepared. The only note I will make in this deck since the previous one is I do expect a real OTK heavy set with both Varus and Vayne running around, and so we have pushed in 2 copies of the Unforgiving Cold. I think we're going to be seeing lots and lots of Frostbites. I'm not entirely certain if these decks are still kind of okay to play without the big collection of spell shields, but for now I think we'll be fine. That's just the only change since our video with this is adding in the Unforgiving Cold. Deck number 2, Ashe LeBlanc. This was what we featured in our previous video. No changes here either. This is definitely looking to pick on and prey upon the opposing OTK style decks, and with our plan to just ban out Seraphine, I think Ashe LeBlanc has a real strong chance at kind of hard carrying through some of these matchups. Last but not least, this is what we're calling with our kind of triple Freylord lineup. We got the 3 different ways to drop those Frostbites onto Varus, and here we're playing with Vayne Udyr. We'll feature this one, a little bit later in the week. I haven't had a chance to put together a video with this, but as we've talked about with our kind of core strategies with playing Vayne, is you want to pick, just kind of like one unit to kind of attack with over and over and over again. And Udyr fits the bill with that quite well. He's very resilient. You can put regeneration on him, so he gets to heal the damage for the next turn and get more attacks going. And then he gets you some value out of the strikes with the stance swap kind of ideas happening. And so if you're looking to move Vayne into Freylord to get access to the Frostbites, I think Udyr is probably your best bet. In terms of the Frostbites here, we're playing the 2 copies of Three Sisters, 2 copies of Harsh Winds to kind of help us with that that Varus problem that's running around these days. Otherwise, this should look fairly familiar to you if you remembered our Udyr, our new Deer deck, if you will, our Nar Udyr deck. We played it for 3 or 4 or 5 different videos. A lot of really early game board control, which you can then try and translate into either big wide attacks with the Golden Aegis and Cythria, or you can look to focus in on these singular attacks with the Udyr. But all right, that's it. That's what we're going to be doing battle with. Let's go ahead and head on in. We're going to have to pay that pay-to-win price. I know I'm going to go and pick up the Condemn, another card that works kind of nicely with Udyr. We don't have... sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up with it, and the equipment cards. It's just another good strike card we can use with Udyr in terms of getting multiple attacks in the same turn. So, all right, we're talking about it. Let's get it pulled up. I thought we were going to have a better opportunity to find it. We don't. Here we go. Condemn. Catching that premium treatment. Look how shiny you are now. Kind of nice. Kinda nice. All right, jump in the gauntlet. Longest one ever. The Riot's out here just trying to queue up all the Seraphine players. Get out of the ladder. Come play the gauntlet. It's brutal though. I did try to like brew with Seraphine and try to come up with some ways to play with her that were going to be interesting. I really wanted to play her with Riven, with the access to all of the sword pieces as a quick way to get her leveled up, and then being able to use her doubling ability on combat tricks. Never quite came together, but I was kind of interested in doing that. And so with opponent here, I'm okay to play against both the Gwen deck and the Lurkers deck. They're not humongous fans of getting frostbitten, and the Sea Monsters deck is a little bit different in the way it plays out, and it's something that's a little bit stronger against what we're trying to do, right? If we're just trying to put down a bunch of 5/5s with Ashe LeBlanc, and he says, oh, LOL, I got a bunch of 7/7s, then it's going to be a little bit problematic. And so let's just go ahead and take that one out. Do battle up against the more aggressive numbers opponent has here. All right. Not too incredible of a start. We'll keep the Omen Hawk. We're going to be looking for a challenger. That's usually the big one that you want to find in the early game. We're not really looking to come out and make a bunch of big trades against this deck, but I do want to have a little bit of early game interactivity. And then one of the things you need to kind of watch yourself with against this one is it does have a lot of 1 health units in it. And so we can look to generate the AoE stance and then just blow up their whole board. Alright, so a little bit awkward of a draw, but opponent doesn't have much to follow up with. Ew, this is kind of gross. Alright, well I'm going to put the dude on the board just to make sure we have a play, but missing out on all these early drops is not good. Go ahead and say no thank you to that. I can definitely see us going into next turn and getting a good AoE out of the stance swap. Oh boy. Wow. Not the sequence I was expecting to see today. Let's see what happens. This is kind of bad. We don't have a unit to play. Oh, we are just stone blanked on this turn. Oh, that is bad. Maybe opponent will look to make some kind of weird open attack or something, but this is definitely not good. Just literal nothing we can play. Painful. But our bear friend is ready to come down. He's gonna turn the tide, make sure everything is okay. And so it's like a little worrisome on this board. I don't really want to attack Udyr into these spiderlings and then have him get popped with a Ravenous Flock. Interesting. Was not expecting opponent to just run out Katarina. She doesn't really do a lot here. It's like, I think at this point we just kind of have to like be in a be in a space of hopes and dreams, if you will, and hoping that he doesn't have a he doesn't have a way to interact with this. Maybe not. Maybe we can just go for the Udyr, right? I mean, if he has a Ravenous Flock, he's gonna have this Blade's Edge behind anyways, so he could just kill the Udyr. Okay, doesn't have it at this point. So he will get this free attack in with Katarina. She's going to be hitting for 5, but our Udyr survives. We'll get a free stance. Hopefully we can turn this one around. I'd feel a lot better if we had a Frostbite in hand, so that if he goes for a big rally type play next turn, we can probably shut it down. But no, he hasn't added a ton to the board here. Right, he can't get a big rally play with 4 mana of Katarina and no units on the board. So many expensives. This is insane.
Down from the cloud-touched mountain, I am here.
We're pretty safe though.
Welcome, one and all, to the Midnight Revel!
We could look to just kill the Boisterous Host, but I think we're safe for the round. The open attacks next turn are going to be pretty scary for opponent.
My magic still works.
This is our 3rd stance, so we'll flip Udyr. So we'll pop the Overwhelm down. He's not going to be directly lethal here, but we have this Golden Aegis in hand to kind of turn things around a little bit.
Death falls from the mountains.
All right, not bad.
May I see your invite?
This doesn't look like the right block. We got overwhelmed, dude. You got to move over. You got to move over with that one.
May I see your invite?
Huh. Okay. Well, I will take the lethal. All right. That did not feel like a game that we should be winning. I can let you know when you play a Bright Steel on 2 and then spend a bunch of combat tricks on it and then don't have anything until turn 5. Not really the sequencing you're looking to to have out of your games. All right. Off to battle with Ashe LeBlanc. It's a little worrisome. I'm not entirely certain how these matchups are. I know it sounds pretty nice to be able to flash freeze some of these plays like both Gwen and Katarina, since you can shut down the Katarina in combat, and then you can make Gwen not deal as much damage with her snips, but not 100% certain how these matchups are slated to play out. So here we'll see what happens. I'm not like excited about the Icebell Archer. I don't want to just open with it. You can try and get like a little bit of a bait with it, where you let your opponent play a unit, then you follow up with the Icebell Archer. It doesn't quite pan out when they drop when they drop cards like House Spider that give them 2 blockers. But you can imagine if you say played an Elise there, then we would have a free attack coming out of the Icebell Archer. This is probably as good as we'll get out of the Icevale. I'm going to hold on to the Brittle Steel, though. I want to see if we can't snipe a Katarina or something with it, or protect a little bit of a higher value unit. Just getting our dude shut down by the Spiderling isn't appealing. I will protect the Trapper here, though. It's a little bit different. It's all right. So, I mean, the House Spider is going to get double hallowed, be up to 4 attack whenever it comes in, but we have a million flash freezes. We should be okay in that sense. There's a Ravenous Flock finally hitting. All right. Let's just clear it all out. This isn't awesome, right? Having this hand just full of flash freezes, it's the real downside to flash freezes, right? If you're playing something like a Mystic Shot, you can send it to the face at some point, but with this board here, you can't really do a lot with it, but opponent isn't presenting too much of a problem. We can just take the 4 from the Reckoner. We're pretty safe in terms of health. Start getting some good attacks in next turn. We can flip the Ashe if he plays another unit. Oh. Let's just go ahead and try and counterspell this. I don't think we're going to get much usage out of this Calling Strike after this turn, right? Like, what's realistically going to happen here? It's like we're just going to be flipping our Ashe on our next attack and then just killing, and so I don't feel like getting that a Calling Strike for a high value target is really going to be necessary. God, we're going to blow this up. Pretty cool. So give me some of them flips. Best blocker 2022. Ashe. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it until I saw it, but now I'm a believer. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the Crystal Arrow. He's gonna get like a little bit of an attack this round, but like if he adds another unit, it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna have a flash freeze if things get truly scary. I don't think things are gonna get truly scary this round, but we have some options. So Gwen's going to attack for 5, and then I guess he would still attack with something else to get the double hallowed bonus to be up to 7. Sure. Not worried about it. We should be able to win with this attack next round. Just going to go with the biggest damage one. Oh, we took the can't block one. That's not bad. Maybe that was a little greedy. Like I assumed that like this game was just done. We're just going to be attacking and everything's going to be over with. But we're a little bit short on the damage here. Maybe the Hookmaster will be enough. All right. Well, that's up to 18. We're 1 short. Whoops. A little bit of a whoopsies. Might have gotten a little aggressive on this board. All right. Let's at least try to clear this stuff out a little bit. He's going to get some snips from Gwen, but he's going to need a recall to get out of this. This is fine. We'll let the unit fall to Gwen. It couldn't block anyways. Not worried about the damage she has coming in because she's going to have 0 attack. And then hopefully we can survive to our next turn. a little bit sloppy here today with the Ashe deck. You have one dude that can block. Oof. This is painful. Picking up all these can't block bros. All right, what's this going to take us to? 3? I mean, I think it's probably okay to stop right here. If, like, the worst thing that would happen for us is if he has a Katarina. I don't think we can beat Katarina, though. We got too sloppy with our health.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
Let's see if we can't get in here otherwise. God, we got so much damage we have to deal. I thought this game was like way closer to being done. Oh man.
Come on, where's the competition?
So I mean, even with this stuff, it's just 20. If he has one blocker, it's gonna be enough to stop Ashe from doing things. So, and yeah, we get we just got so greedy with this one. All right. Opponent has about 1,000,000 cards in hand. We might be okay though. Oh, ugh. At least we're not. At least we're not just dead to the Katarina. I'm gonna move this back. He's gonna get into combat with Katarina. I'm gonna strike her down with the brutal skirmish, and then I'm gonna move the amulet back to the Hookmaster. We can replay the bigger damage thing next turn.
It's just in mid.
Right, so now the Hookmaster doesn't die to Blade's Edge. He didn't seem really interested in dropping Blade's Edges, but gave us the opportunity to heal that 1 point of health. So it's a valuable blocker now. Valuable blocker.
Quick as the blade.
All right, get that out of the way. He's back down to one card. We can stop this open attack, right? We have the flash freeze in hand, so maybe.
Strange, wonderful world.
First let the blood, then
Well, we're done now. No, we can block out to the left. We can still flash freeze the Gwen, and then maybe get something happening here. Okay. Right, we have to drop the flash freeze on Gwen. Right, this looks pretty good.
sumptuous threaten.
Don't lose our tactician. The Gwen doesn't do anything. We just rallied. Okay. Alright, Ashe, do the work. I'm going to take this 10 damage hit in now, and then I'm going to switch this amulet back so she has Fearsome. And now when we open attack, the Gwen will get Flash Frozen and can't block, and Ashe should get the Fearsome attack through the Spiderling.
Show me a target.
There you go. Winning games we don't deserve. Oh, that's some good shit. That's some good shit. It's it was a little sloppy. It wasn't our best effort. It was good enough to win. Hopefully, you got to see some neat sequences in there, even though we didn't play that FTPbus.com #1 ranking style play. And all right. Up against this hot mess of control decks now, I'm reasonably happy to play against the Feel the Rush deck. I mean, I'm not like amped about it, but we have the tools to stop a lot of what they're doing, right? With our various our various flash freeze kind of things, right? If you put a 10-10 on the board, we can at least give it 0 power for a turn and not immediately die. So it's like, I think we can let it stand. And then my concern is Heimerdinger Jace. I feel kind of okay with the Udyr decks against it because the stance swaps are so good against all of the turrets. But, he's playing Heimerdinger Jace Bandle City, not playing Shadow Isles. I think I'm just going to leave that up and cancel out the Darkness deck. I don't feel like amped about Darkness. It's just our deck doesn't play very well against the likes of Minimorph. So let's let that one go. He takes out the Ashe deck, surprising. We'll come in with Udyr. Not quite the full Shadow Isles package I was expecting here, but curious why you play Bandle City with this. You're gonna get a knowledge bomb here, an exclusive knowledge bomb. It's gonna be coming right at us. All right, so what do we got? We got a couple choices here. I think we want to lead off. It's like we can lead off with the Fleet Feather Tracker into Bright Steel next turn, but he just like takes 3 damage and doesn't care, right? We're not going to get a big like "oh gotcha" style play out of doing that. So let's save our interactivity for a little bit later, and lead with the Omen Hawk. Now it's looking like we're the best in the world.
Wondrous discoveries await below. Persistence is key.
All right, so I mean the Vulpine Wanderer, he has to worry about a lot of spells, right? Pokey sticks and group shots and the like, but the more common thing in Vile Feast, which is the bigger problem, not going to be hitting here.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
Interesting. Well, we have the mana banked up for, oh boy, we're rolling now. Let's say we have the mana banked up for the Inner Beast to stop any kind of 1 damage ping shenanigans he might be bringing at us, but about to blow this board up. It's so tough. Like, we have the stances, but I think I just want to roll in with our units. We're going to be able to play Udyr next turn and then drop the stance for free. I don't think, like, taking down Reggie and a Conchologist while we lose some of our own units are the best usage of a stance. Okay. That was a created one. We had to stop and look. I was curious if this guy was like physically playing Lightning Rush in his Conchologist Reggie deck. I could see it. Just say Seraphine, I see you trying to generate value. Let me drop a knowledge bomb on you. Let me show you the way I do it.
What wondrous discoveries await below.
I do, dear. Let's show them how it's done. Now, if you're not familiar with all of these angles here, if you Cataclysm an Overwhelm unit into a blocker, then you have a... You'll deal that Overwhelm damage. We're not going to be able to take that line here. I was looking to put the Overwhelm onto Udyr, attack, and then Cataclysm something else, so you get that big old burst of damage, but we're going to have to go for the heal stance now. We can't just leave a 1 health Udyr out here hanging out. It's a pretty big old collection of damage, though. I'll throw down the bird. We can look to put, say, like a regenerate stance on the bird, but I think we're just so far away from that. We're going for like the big kills. Opponents drawn like 100 cards this game. We can't sit around and play for value. We're never going to get a win that way. Do we ever want to just 3 Sisters this for the damage? I think I'm on board. I was kind of thinking it's like, well, we'll get this free stance and then we can overwhelm into something, but that doesn't quite seem like enough damage. Oh, wrong one. 3 Sisters, Fury of the North. Sure. Can't do anything with Flash of Brilliance. Turns out you can't cast spells that cost 6 or more mana when you only have 4. It's a turns out. I may not be the best at math, but I have figured that one out. All right, let's see if we can't get a big boom in next turn. I'm excited. When are they going to make Udyr skins? This is a sad day. I feel like I've become a true believer in Udyr, and we don't get to use him to his maximum capabilities. All right, so he's out of Minimorph range. I think we're good to just to pop off here. Where are we at? +2/+2. It's going to make Udyr large. He can, say, wallop out of this. I wouldn't be surprised to see opponent have a wallop. They did play Conchologist like 3 or 4 times, but he's going to have a nice variety of ways to try and stop this between this turn and next turn. Sure. Boom, a Udyr. Nice. That's what the OTKs are all about. Say, I don't need you, Vayne. Get out of here. We got the bear ready for action. Turtle stance, tiger stance, bear stance. Get it all. Okay. Riven Varus. I'm excited. I love this deck. This is one of my favorites. I've always been such a big fan of Fizz Riven, and this feels like an ample replacement. having a unit like Varus that just gets up to 15 attacks so easily. All right, so here the easy way to do this is just mulligan for Reforges. We don't need to be starting with Varus. He levels up really quick, but we're counting on all of these Reforges to do the work. So.
Join the hunters, they said. Finally, some action.
Nope. Varus says, I'm still here. I want to party. I'm ready. I'm ready for battles. Not getting rid of me that easy. We got +2 attack. Ooh, opponent doesn't have a ramp card in hand. Interesting.
It's my time.
See what happens. I'm a little bit too worried about just getting hit with like a Vile Feast kind of thing here. And so I don't want to invest like ultra heavily in this board. Like if we add the Squire here and then he has an Avalanche, we're in a pretty bad spot. So it's okay to just play that a little bit slower. Now we're safe to draw Varus.
Only revenge will quiet our minds.
All right, so he's got to start doing something. I can't imagine he just takes 10. He may. So he's probably not going to just take 10, though. And a Vengeance, sad day for Varus. Couldn't we kill this turn? Right, we gotta stop and think when we got the Ruined Reckoners in hand. I think we'll be a little bit too slow for this turn, but we're getting this persistent damage out of the Brothers' Bond. Now we're definitely at this spot to where if he just taps a little bit too low, then we'll come out and kill him.
No more mud for me. No way.
No more mud for me. I love it. It's a poop joke. Old Blade Squire here has to hope he doesn't have the poops in his boots. No poops in the boots, please. Trundle. We just killed through Trundle. Let's stop and take a moment to reflect. Now, the scary thing about these Freylord decks is we need to be able to, like, we have to lead with the Expanse's protection. We can't respond to a flash freeze with this thing. And so if we're going to say put the Expanse's protection onto the Rune Weaver, then Ruined Reckoner the Rune Weaver, that's 6 mana. We have 1 mana left for an Overwhelm card. It's not going to be lethal, but it does get us pretty close with the open attack next turn. See what happens. Maybe he's like, watch this, I'm going to attack with Trundle. And we can pop off through this. Oh. All right. So again, it's not going to be lethal, but we're looking to get the magic happening on our next attack. Maybe that was a little greedy with the Expanse's protection here, and we could have just let that go. But now it's going to kind of come down to whether or not he has a Withering Wail. But we have a ton of damage in hand, even without, or even if he does have it. Okay, everything else is burst speed, so we're ready for combat now. Can't play Reforges in the middle of combat. Boomed him. Nice. Victory. Ain't no stopping this. Check the watch. I get you all in and out of here this one quick. This is the amount of time it would take to play one Seraphine game. Just one. That's all it is. We'll just go ahead and ban this shit. We're not dealing with that. So we're going to be up against that. Should be a Timelines deck, a Timelines Trundle, and then Nora Swain. These are... I think Nora Swain is probably manageable. It's going to depend on their list in terms of... are they bringing a bunch of like mini morphs and stuns, right? You can definitely... You have the opportunities to tune Vandal City to be really in tune with the meta. And I don't know. I don't feel like that's what we're immediately going to run into here, but I'm curious to what we see. All right, our first Vayne. I didn't attach the... I got to put on the skin. I think we have it. I think. Oh, wrong one. Same deal as that previous game. Like, he does have an opportunity to say, like, play Nora on turn 2 now, and we miss out on it with the Fleet Feather Tracker, but it's just, like, not a realistic sequence to hit, right? When we play the Fleet Feather and then we follow up with the Bright Steel, he's just like, cool, I'm not going to play Nora, right? And the turn ends. And so I think we're good to still just start out with the Omen Hawk. Now we have the mana built up for the Inner Beast. We can drop Vayne and then look to get the Fleet Feather Tracker things happening next round. All right, he did get a portal, though. We get a free unit at some point. Get a free unit immediately. Let me change my stance there.
We made it. Yay.
But our stuff didn't.
Kind of sucks.
You're covered.
I was having big plans with that Golden Aegis, the way that this board is shaping up, but opponent says no.
Honor guide me.
You witless cretin.
And a group shot. I mean, do we care? I don't think we care about losing the Fleet Feather Tracker. I'm kind of done with it at this point. The thing to worry about would be if he has like a follow-up Nora, and then do we have the answers to her? I think I'm just a little bit more interested in protecting this Vayne. So we'll let that happen. Like, we need to get something happening with these Inner Beasts, but I don't think keeping that dude around is going to be quite worth it. The flock, though. Well played.
I'm not done.
All right, Vulpine Wanderer, you're gonna have to do the work today. You and your friends.
Patience crashes and quiets. This is our Vayne.
Are you guys ready for overwhelms? Because that's what you're about to get.
Sigil shows them where their spells can help.
Looked like he was kind of interested in playing a removal spell here. I'm not sure what it would be in terms of us losing the Vulpine Wanderers. There's nothing that just deals 3 damage on its own. Collection of cards is fine. This Slotbot is a pretty good hit. Has a lot of stats. 8 damage for Swain. 2 portals for Nora. Hey, there we go.
For the old gods.
So I'm curious with this turn, like if we say load up Udyr with the stance, I want to give him regenerate stance. And then if we just pass, it gives us a chance to kind of build up into these inner beasts and let us spend the mana on those. Like, is this a disintegrate play? Yeah. Nothing we could do about that. Painful. But I wanted to kind of roll into the next turn. If he's going to be sending a bunch of damaged base spells at Udyr, like we really need one of our big units on board to get things happening. All right, yeah, we're just dead now. Had all the answers to our big boys. Ugh, just passing with all this mana feels so bad, but also spending 5 mana to give a Vulpine Wanderer like 2 health also feels pretty bad. Okay, I think we could have won that with the Udyr. Like, I liked our angle there, I liked our stance, but the disintegrates were just too much. All right, on to the timelines. All right, so what do we got? Reasonable enough early game collection of bros. I don't think we want to lead out with the tracker. It's not gonna quite do enough. Needed that Omen Hawk last turn. It's got the timelines. Okay. I would assume at this space he just doesn't have Mystic Shots, right? This is a unit that you definitely want to be Mystic Shotting. Their like small removal suite is very damage heavy, and the Sculptor does a lot of work in terms of getting your units out of combat damage range. So I think we should be fairly safe in terms of those, right? Because if you're just going to, like, you can play your timelines this turn if you need to, and you haven't really missed out on anything. Well, that's a pretty sizable unit. All right. If he's played that that Mystic Shot slow, then we're about to just get blown up. But this is manageable at least.
A slight adjustment.
All right, I had the Omen Hawk. Didn't immediately find a dude. That's okay.
That's a bit better.
Fleet Feather Tracker can come down now. We can hook his one play out of combat. What you got? That looks like a big unit. Mage Seeker Insider. Okay. Where's Vayne? Oh my god, I can't click on Vayne. Here we go.
Who kill innocents are no more than fiends.
Where's my hammer?
All right. We can't get this party going. Another combat cook, okay. It's a little unfortunate, like we're going to have to worry about a pretty serious unit next turn. Right, I want to get the All-Seer down and we'll have the mana to All-Seer Cataclysm, but, excuse me, it's a little scary. He's not going to flow.
Our eyes lead to hidden paths.
Steel over sorcery.
All right, so who are we going to try and pop off with? Like, I don't think we're going to get this Cataclysm down. It's unfortunate we don't have like quick attacks that we can deploy onto this stuff. Okay. See, like now he gets to still play another dude and upgrade it with the timelines. It's a real pain for us.
A goat brings me.
Gotta have good things happen with this All-Seer. Oh boy, are we just dead? Yep. All right. GG. That was a pretty painful set of matchups. He was very well centered against what we were trying to do.
And we will end
What? GG. Not nearly the type of matchups we were looking to be playing against or expecting to play against. And so that was the kind of lineup where if you like to play chess by yourself on the weekends, that's the kind of thing that you're gonna be bringing to the Gauntlet. Hey Bust, what are you doing this weekend? Playing chess? Cool. You want to play together? Nah. Oh, are you playing on the internet or something? No, I'm just playing by myself. Playing games against myself. I'm the best player in the world, so why waste my time playing against other people? Oh, that's interesting. the control deck player's mindset. All right, but what are we doing here? Like, I don't quite know what No Champions Freylord PNZ is. In the past, this would be Poros, right? The what do you call it? Like the elusive Poro with the Freylord spell that gives them all +2/+2. I think like that doesn't seem awesome, but I'm not super amped about playing against pirates, and so I'm just gonna ban pirates out. We'll see if that's what we're actually running into here. Fizz Riven or the Ashe deck doesn't seem particularly strong against either of these, though. So we'll see. I think this is what we're up against is the Poros deck. At least that's what it would have been in the past. Who really knows what we're up against in the Gauntlet, and so we'll just have to see. There it is.
Join the hunters, they say.
I think we should be faster than this thing. I guess it's all just going to come down to how quickly he can pop off those AoE style things, but
To serve the greater good.
let's see. We'll take the opportunity to kill a Poro instead of trying to do more damage with the Rune Weaver.
Want to show you something?
Just don't feel like we're going to be in a spot playing for value, right? We could have hung on to the Rune Squire and tried to hit a quick attack and quick attack down a little Poro, but that all seems kind of not really excited about. Ooh, a Brittle Steel. Okay. Ugh, gross. Okay, so we'll take 4 this turn. We're gonna have to kill with Varus on turn 6. That's all that really matters here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get a lethal on us next turn, but we have to win on that next attack. We'll never get past turn 7. Oh shit! God, I meant to play the Bakai. I got a little clicky there.
To serve the greater good.
We don't have an Overwhelm fragment. Okay. Well, ideally, I'd say he's probably dropping a Daring Pour this turn and then just never blocking. Oh, he's got another one in hand. Okay. We'll have to add the Bakai. We need to find a Flash Freeze or something that lets us prevent damage. Will we have 6 mana next turn? If we want to, say, pick up the Unending Wave as a means to try and have more draws at the Unforgiving Cold, I think I'm okay with it. We can play all of that.
Finally, some action.
Right, but we die to a Poro Snack, we die to a +1/+1 thing, whatever, Legacy, Iceborne. Holy shit, he's blocking? He has to just have like, if he's doing this, he has to have a Poro. What are you doing? What the fuck? That's insane to me. I don't know. I don't know what just happened there. I'll take it. But that seems to go against like the entirety of what his deck is capable and meant to be doing. Wow.
Bloodshed is the only way, isn't it?
All right, well, let's see if we can't kill next turn. We're definitely going to just be dropping swords. And we picked up an Overwhelm Fragment for Varus if we want. We have the 8 mana. I don't think we're going to go that way. I'm looking to... Oh, we fucked this up. Oh, that was +2 attack. Okay, we haven't ruined it just yet. We want to put... Quick Attack doesn't matter. Overwhelm, we need to put on Varus. That was the big one. I was afraid that we just messed up. Now the blade will come into hand. Let's see where this gets us. Like, I'm really curious and wondering what is capable of being in this guy's deck now. We can Brittle Steel the Riven until she flips. Once she flips, you can't hit with Brittle Steel, but I was ultimately worried about things like Harsh Winds coming at us. All right, we're good now.
Violence and violence.
Oh, she didn't get bonus health. Why don't you have bonus health? She was at 3. Was she? Oh, she was already flipped. I was looking at the Riven sword thinking that the sword had to land for her to flip, but got it. Okay.
Noxus will pay for what they did to us.
All right, well, that felt pretty lucky. I don't know. It's just
The cost of war.
maybe he felt like he couldn't have dealt enough damage on his turn with all those poros, but I don't know how you ever win that game throwing away for the daring poros. It would have made like at least a little sense to say, if you're like, well, I can't lethal next turn, I need to stop some of this damage, and then put trades onto our 2 smaller ones, but wow. Feel like we got away with one. All right, this should be fairly painful, right? With our deck, we are designed and centered to be dealing with one big unit. An opponent's deck is designed to have a bunch of unblockable little units, and so we're definitely going to be struggling here. This is not a matchup you want to be playing with Ashe LeBlanc. It's a really, really polarized matchup in terms of what it's good against, and this is not it. This deck is it's terrible against the really aggressive stuff like this thing or Pirates or Annie-Jin, and then it's really terrible against the slow stuff like Seraphine and like Heimerdinger Jace from our previous opponent or whatever, but really needs to be focused in on that mid-game stuff to where these Frostbites can thrive, and we are not playing against that right now. Okay. Not really excited about this trade. I'd prefer to be taking down his like daring poros, but we can't even block that guy at this point. If we're just going to be eating damage from the poro herder, then I think we might as well just take it down. There's the daring.
All the world on one arrow.
Oh boy, the patched hit the elusive as well. Not bad, not bad. We haven't equipped anything either for our Unforgiving Cold. A little worried, but we'll save the Frostbite archers for the next turn. With the way that previous game went, I feel like he may just decide to come out and block some of this stuff when he doesn't need to be, and so we might get away with a little bit of something here and buy a little bit of time for next turn with the Icevale archers.
Today we fight as one.
Right, these are typically not blocks you're looking to make with this deck. You're looking to just pull off OTKs on the next turn, so I feel like the opponent's experience level with this deck may not be ultra high. What's our Ashe at? One flash freeze? She's definitely flipping next turn. Alright, so let's see. So now when we open with Ashe, she's going to hit one, and then we can look to flash freeze the other one. We're short of lethal that way. The other thing we have is if we can just hit the second time with this Tactician, he's going to drop down to costing 6. And that should be good. There's one flash freeze. Ashe will take down the other one. And then we'll follow up with a rally. I think we're good here. Do you all ever play chess by yourselves on Friday nights? Oh shit, the Poro snack. That one slid past me. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Are we still okay? He's not losing any of his units here. Ooh, that's kind of nasty. Getting the surprise boom coming at us. And a troll chant. Okay. I think we're still okay, right? He's going to have to trade away some of his dudes here to not die. But that was definitely a little sloppy, not not remembering about the Poro snack. We just shouldn't have played the Frostbite thing. But I think we're safe for next turn. He's out here blocking stuff. He's only going to have one dude at this point. We have the double Unforgiving Cold, and then we'll have the 8 mana to also be able to flash freeze off of Three Sisters. It's just a pretty big ask to try and stop all this.
Oh, fluff everywhere.
All right, then we'll look to stop here. I don't want to have to play the Three Sisters this turn. I'd prefer to have it next turn for a combat trick. Okay. Oh boy, it's the daring. I thought that we were just going to be able to block this thing. Alright. Alright. See if we just get bamboozled by another Poro snack next turn. Does he have the mana to Aurora? I guess you could Aurora Borealis into Poro snack. That would be a 9 mana play, I think. Ugh. Man, we still haven't equipped a unit yet either. Everything's going to shit this game. We need to upgrade our focus a little bit. Alright, Poro Cannon doesn't do anything. Got him. Alright, that was sloppy, but we were able to get there. This is not FTP Bus strongest day of constructed play. give me a draft. We'll turn things around. All right. Victory is ours, though, on the way to the final gauntlet, the last chance battle. Only get 16 shots at 4 of these, and so we gotta use them good. And okay, so as with kind of before, our decks are looking to play against that go tall type strategy. And so the way to kind of look at this really quickly is say, okay, Scion, we can deal with that with a flash freeze. Rek'Sai, we can deal with that with a flash freeze. But this Hecarim deck with a whole lot of width coming out of ephemerals, not something we're really well geared to deal with. And so let's go ahead and drop the ban there. And then I worry a little bit about the flash freeze deck, but let's lead off with Riven. Not entirely certain how strong any of these matchups are. Oh, I didn't pick up on Targon being in here. I just saw Draven Scion and just assumed I just assumed that there was going to be the discard package in it. Well, I assume he's playing the discard package. I meant the P and Z package with the burn and the flame chompers. That's aggressive.
I hope that was mud.
I hope that was mud. There's the Blade Squire line. I appreciate it, dude. One of the best dudes in the game.
These hands know metal and magic.
Finally, some action.
Interesting. Well, it seems like a pretty good start. Even if he has a Draven here, it's not something I'm particularly afraid of. We're going to just be able to get super wide. We can ignore the 3 damage coming out of him. All sounds good to me.
To serve the greater good.
Let's do this.
What you got? Anything cool? I could go for a Riven. Lets us play a fragment this turn if we want. Seems good. We're not going to get too far with just a Varus this turn, and so this lets us build up to a Riven OTK. Not the board for an out of the way. Where is this at? I want to still quick attack our Riven. I don't want her to die to a random spinning axe. All of our Reforged friends are okay to go, though. And so...
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Sure.
Time for the
Ooh, we had the... Oh my God. Cats. It's cats. He had the can't die thing. That's okay. We're still sending in a ton of damage. Pretty well set up to win on our next attack turn. Well, I guess the cat hasn't made his way to the video yet. We gotta at least try. Hang on.
Took my love, but left my ring.
Oh, I've learned my lesson. It's easier to just pick him up. Just pick him up.
I will surpass these mortal constraints. Let's boogie.
Time to move on.
So what do we got here? We're definitely blocking Yulia. Is there anything that OTKs us? Like,
Your fate was written.
I don't think so. Oh wow, this Draven just never dies? Huh. Interesting. I didn't realize that survival skill stuck around forever. Granted, I haven't played too many out of the ways in my day, but we dead?
Now we're cooking.
What's this? 8? Okay. I don't think we're dead. Maybe we should have put a blocker in front of him just in case, so that we could get an extra like +2 health if we needed to. Well, okay. Not what I was expecting, but I think we're fine. He's down to a spinning axe and a unit, right? You draw units off the Grave Physician, and so he's not going to be able to stop this open attack. Let's go ahead and play out our cards, though. +2 attack on the smallest one. Overwhelm onto Varus. Get him in there.
This is
I do wonder though with the with the last chance gauntlet stuff being open for so long, right? Typically, like it says on the thing when you're trying to get qualified for seasonals that it's like the first 300 or the first 700 people. It's the first 300 people, I think, that when their last chance gauntlet get that berth into seasonals. But if you have 16 weeks of gauntlets as opposed to 6 to get those wins, there should just be like an absolute ton of people playing just like the singular match and trying to jump in. I'm curious what the kind of like break off is in terms of people not getting in and not being able to do that when you just have to win one match, right? There's just a huge glut of people that just need to win one match.
Time for the money makers.
All right, is he doing something? I feel like we won this game. He was taking the time to play some cards. Don't believe it was enough. Okay. Well, I feel like we have a bit of an advantage now that we know what we're getting into. Playing against this out-of-the-way style Draven deck, and then our flash freezes should be pretty good here.
Let this be a lesson to the rest.
Cool. All right, Ashe. I believe in you. All right. He doesn't move to lurkers. Nice. Lurkers scares me a little bit. So we'll hang on to the brittle steel. Get rid of it in a lot of matchups, but I think we'll find an opportunity to use it in the early game here. I think we're looking good.
Is he here yet? Oh man.
Uh-oh. Looks like Draven's going to be coming down.
This is awesome.
I ain't scared. Ask me if I'm worried.
Sharpen the
Say it.
blades, secure
Say
the
it.
kill.
Bust, you worried? Nah. No, I'm not. It is kind of interesting with the Calling Strike as well. I think Calling Strike kills those... if you have that can't lose health thing, I think the Calling Strike still just kills you, right? You can Vengeance those units down. Calling Strike should still do the same thing. All right. Well, that thing has happened. Let's go ahead and clear out this board. I know he doesn't want to sit around and target Draven's biggest fan. He wants to just target Draven, but let's take an opportunity to shrink this board and get him down. If we really need to Calling Strike the Draven, we should be able to do that on our next attack, right? I don't want to Calling Strike into Draven and him just play a combat trick, but if we have him shrunk with Ashe, we should have a reasonable shot to get a kill then. Right, this is a kind of scary spot to do it. If he has a Elixir of Wrath, he just gets out of it.
Not.
He's got it. The combo has hit. I'd stop and see if we could just lethal. It's like we're so close. We got 15 on board and he's at 15. We don't have the means to get the damage in though.
As the arrow flies, I'll cut them apart. Swiftly now. What a treat. You're mine.
Alright, I think we can do it this way. We maybe should have attacked with Ashe to the left of LeBlanc. Like if he has a way to stop this combat with the Glory Seeker. But I think it's okay. And this is fine. I kind of want him to get invested in this. Either get really invested in this Draven, and then we know that our Calling Strike is no good, or we want him to say, oh, I guess the combat's done, and then follow up with another unit, and then after he spends his mana, we go for the Calling Strike. Oh, I guess we're not getting a calling strike this round though. Okay. I wonder if we could have ever gotten this if we put the +1/+1 onto the challenger and then just go and pick up the overwhelm stance and send the overwhelm stance into Draven. That would have been like 6 damage coming in. Maybe that was the way to go about it.
The dead do not want us to mourn, but live.
Well, I like this even less now. We probably should have put, like, I think as long as we get to the next turn, we just win the game. And we probably should have put like a +2/+2 onto one of our units to throw in front of Draven. Right? If he has to discard his whole hand this turn to try and get a kill, we should have probably just gone for the damage.
So obvious. Are you certain?
I like this even less now. Well, no, I was gonna say, I was gonna say I like it even less, given that we need to. Hang on, I was gonna say like I wanted to brutal skirmish, but we would lose out on all the damage going into LeBlanc. Oof. Oof. Oh, he's got spell shielded though. We haven't played an equipped unit yet, have we? Well, that's not ideal. Let's see. All right, well, we're just going to have to pivot over. He shouldn't be able to lethal us here, just through the Draven. If the last card in his hand is an Elixir of Wrath, then I guess you got us. But let's see if we can't take down this Yulia and just take a 9 damage hit here, right? His last card has to... Well, he could have a Might as well. But it has to specifically be a 3 damage combat trick as his last card. And otherwise, I think we're going to struggle to win this game.
And I thought I was already perfect.
All right, got that Draven flip. I think we're okay now. These flash freezes from Ashe should be pretty nasty, and then we can follow up with the Tactician to rally through. I don't think we flip if he doesn't play another unit, but not entirely certain how this works if you send Ashe into the 2 Ashe arrows going into the same unit. Like, if you have a 0 power unit and then you give it 0 power again, I think it counts. It feels like this was a bug at some point. And I can't quite remember how that played out. So here he does have the potential to block, right? He's got spinning axes in hand, but... okay, we're good. He just discarded a Whirling Death. I was going to say, he may be able to stop us on this attack, but the next attack we should be able to get him. This, oh, he discarded a... Why did his thing? He discarded a card. We're still fine, but...
They admire the rose, but forget its thorns.
Every rose has its thorn, bro. All right, that was sloppy. What a sloppy run we had today. It was still enough to gather victory, but not the best work from old FTP Bust. Got him, though. Whew. And so, all right. Interesting collection of games. I I wasn't like super happy with that Ashe LeBlanc deck. Don't get me wrong, I like the deck. I feel like it has a pretty good place, but that's one of the things that we run into in Gauntlet and in Best of 3 is to where I worry about playing stuff like Ashe LeBlanc because like even say this most recent seasonals, Nami was the far and away the best deck in the format. It only got played in like 40% of the lineups. We didn't play it ourselves, and so if you're like playing a deck that's really like hard targeting on a few strategies, you're really leaving yourself open to just losing to all that other stuff. And so you typically at a super high level, you have this idea to either bring a deck that has a bunch of pretty good win rates, right? You have say a lineup of decks that are basically all like 50 to 55% win rates against the field, or you can try and bring stuff like Ashe LeBlanc to where if the matchups fall the way you need, you should be running into like 70% win rate matchups. But if you miss, then you're, whereas that kind of even lineup, you might be like a 45 to 50% underdog. With this, you're like a 30% underdog. And so I think we ran into a lot of that today with this event with the Ashe LeBlanc deck. Just ran into a collection of decks that weren't that good against it. And so we might need like a little bit more balance in our lineup if this is something we want to bring in the future, instead of bringing a couple of OTK decks and Ashe and not really thinking about it. But I was expecting there to be like a lot more of the new champions since the cards just came out. And I was kind of expecting it's like, well, I haven't played a ton, but I'll bring this Vayne deck that I've been grinding with on the ladder and then two of the other old decks. And I felt like we would be able to pick on that a little bit, and we just didn't see it. And so a little bit of awkwardness with our lineup as well. But I think we still didn't squander our ability to just bring good matchups and bring strong decks. I think all these decks we brought were fairly strong. We did lose the match to the chess player, but I think this was okay, and it could probably have some success on your own. And so even if you don't want to play Ashe LeBlanc, you probably do want to think about bringing some of those flash freezes. There's just a ton of Varus and a ton of Vayne running around, and that's going to be your kind of key defensive mechanism. But nonetheless, we were able to take it down. Why didn't we get a thing? Why don't we have a Prime Glory marker? Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Like when I was talking a little bit earlier in that... I was curious if you would just have, like 15 weeks of opportunities to get these gauntlets. We didn't actually get a Prime Glory here. This was our first one of the week. I don't think we messed it up. And so, interesting. Maybe it does just kick in like 6 weeks before the event or something. Anyways, who knows? I don't know. Maybe, I'll tweet about it and see if anyone says something. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope your Udyrs are as strong as they need to be. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.